We are starting to become preppers.
Yep. And this is not a clickbait video. This is not something we're doing for our YouTube channel. We would be doing this whether there's a camera here or not. Echo!
I was gonna say, it's gonna echo real bad in here.
Guys, we are coming to y'all from our tornado shelter, tornado bunker, as it's more commonly referred to on YouTube. Tell them what we're doing.
We are starting to become preppers.
Yep. And this is not a clickbait video. This is not something we're doing for our YouTube channel. We would be doing this whether there's a camera here or not.
We had already started doing this last year.
Yeah, and we've kind of decided to kick it into high gear. So we just kind of want to show y'all what we're doing, kind of what we've got stockpiled, and what our plans are for the future. And we definitely want y'all's feedback.
Yeah, because we've never done this before.
Yeah, this is new to us, but it's something we're taking a lot more serious with current events and everything going on.
She saw it there.
Yeah, she's trying to. She's being nosy. So, we are definitely novices at this, and we don't mind your criticism. Be nice, but tell us what we need to do better, do different. So, yeah.
I think utilizing this space, we put this in 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And our house is fairly small for 5 people, so we have to utilize all of our spaces the best that we can. So we both talked about it and thought, well, this would be a great space to put everything that we needed to put down here. Yeah. And we still have room to get in here if Texas decides to get all crazy on us this spring.
Yeah, there were tornadoes in the Panhandle last night, so it wouldn't be crazy for us to have to be running down here any day now. So, but we've got most of the non-perishable type stuff in here. We've got stuff in our garden shed. We've got stuff in our shed next to our shop. We've got stuff in our shop. So we're just gonna take y'all around and kind of show you what we got. Like I said, just ask for y'all's feedback and opinion and see what y'all think about our setup.
It's dusty down here. My nose is itchy. So we went last night, and I think over time we'll buy more and more stuff. But we just did one quick haul last night. I think we spent less than $100 at Sam's. We got 10 cases of water. We have toilet paper from last year.
Like every red-blooded American, we have toilet paper.
But what's crazy is I bought that before the toilet paper issue started. Like we went.
So what you're saying is you were hoarding toilet paper before hoarding toilet paper was cool?
This is true. I'm one of the cool kids. No, for real though, I'd already bought that and I had it down here in the storm shelter. So we thankfully never ran out of toilet paper, thank goodness. And it's been down here a year. It's very non-perishable. Anyways, we have this kit that his mom made us.
That's more for if
we're in a severe weather situation.
Yeah. But we got we have a video on our channel. I'll post a link. Me and Easton kind of went through this and redid it. We got a first aid kit, some candles, snacks, a lantern, stuff like that. So
anyways, which some of this came in handy when the Texas electrical grid went nutso a month ago. We came down here and got lanterns and candles and things like that. So it actually came in handy, which is one of the reasons why we thought this would be a good idea to start getting ready for this, because we went through a week of minimal electricity and no water. So we thought, well, we better kick this into high gear and be prepared. So then we have flour and sugar. Flour and sugar. You can't really see back here, but we've got pasta, peanut butter. Is peanut butter okay down here? I guess you guys can tell us better.
Yeah, because it does get warm in here.
Yeah.
In the summertime, so this.
It's in ground, so it's cooler than it is outside.
But it's not cool as it is in the house.
No. So if we need to bring that in, y'all let us know. Tuna fish, rice, macaroni and cheese, because Easton is not going to do well if we have to go into survival mode.
Well, and then speaking of that, there's 3 cases of ramen noodles back there. That's his.
Which he lovingly calls it juice sketty. He's called it that since he was young, juice sketty. So, instant coffee for Sarah and Tobin. Rest of us will survive. Tomato sauce, canned green beans, rice, yeast for bread making if we needed to do that.
When this all fired off a year ago, yeast was very hard to find.
It was so hard.
Yeah. So, got beans up there, did you say that already?
Yeah, beans, and then we've got oil.
The water. Oh, yeah, extra cooking oil.
I said 10 cases of water
Yeah.
in the beginning. So that's just our start. We have to utilize this space the best that we can.
Yep.
Because it is small and we still want to be able to use it.
So you can tell we've got plenty of room for us and the dogs, and the neighbors have even climbed in here with us a few times.
3 of our neighbors, 5 of us, and 2 dogs fit down here.
Yep.
And we were comfortable.
Yep. So we should still have plenty of room for that. So guys, I always say go. So guys.
Well, how are you going to
So y'all.
That does not sound authentic.
So guys, let's go with so guys. That's what I say. So we're gonna take y'all around the whole homestead and kind of show you what we have. We have stuff here and there all around that we've kind of started stockpiling for prepping. Why are you laughing at me?
Because that sounded so y'all.
Y'all. So.
You know, it's really funny. We're prepping and the Prime truck just drove by.
Yeah. That was not for us though.
No, I know. It's just funny.
But so first we're going to tell y'all, before we go around the whole homestead, is going to just kind of tell y'all why we've arrived at where we're at. So, you know, obviously the events of the last 12 months were a part of that. You know, there's been several times where we've had empty grocery shelves. You know, hard to find.
Yeah. I don't think many of y'all have watched our channel for a while, but when we started this channel about a month before, no, it was like 2 weeks before they put us on the stay-at-home orders, we had decided, not even knowing what was going to end up happening, that we were going to fill our freezer. Mm-hmm. And we went to our local meat market and just bought meat, not because we were scared. Yeah. We were just like...
We had some extra money and we just decided to go do it. And it was... At that time, everybody was like, you kept hearing COVID and this and that, and we didn't even really, we don't watch like the local news, you know, like normal news that much. So we weren't we were kind of behind the ball on that.
We were going on a cruise a month later.
Yeah.
Like we had sat down at dinner that night and said, we're going.
Yeah.
So it was not a panic move. It was just, you know, we had talked about just being a little bit more self-sustaining.
Yes. So, and then this whole deal is, it's not just about prepping, it's about just being able to sustain ourselves with, you know, without having to go to the store if we needed to for an extended period of time. So, and then most recently, I know some of the country wasn't hit as hard. Texas was definitely hit very hard comparatively to the weather that we normally have this time of year. It was unprecedented, having negative 5-degree temperatures. Essentially
6 inches of snow.
Yeah, 6 inches of snow. The power grid, they said it was 14 minutes from the entire power grid of Texas going down, and it probably wouldn't have came up for 6 to 8 weeks is what I've read. It was that close. And then that's when they started doing the rolling blackouts. We had rolling blackouts for 5 days. Our water comes from a local water company that gets their waters from wells. Those wells are powered by electricity. They had no electricity, so therefore we had no water.
For the entire 6 days.
Yes. So 5 or 6 days, I mean, electricity on for 15 minutes, off for 45 minutes, on for 15 minutes, off
Oh,
for 45
we were
minutes.
lucky. We were lucky if it stayed off for 45 minutes.
Yeah,
I mean, there were times
best.
2.5 hours.
Yeah, it'd go off. So, you know, a lot of like planning, like in the morning, I had to work every day through all this. There's a lot of companies that completely shut down. I wasn't fortunate enough to do that, but I would say 98% of working people in Texas were at home not working, because you can't go to work, you can't go to a warehouse, you can't go, you know, there's so many things you can't do when the power's on and off and on and off. And a lot of the commercial stuff was shut off permanently, and did not come back up until it was all over with. So, but back to my point, you know, I remember waking up at 4 o'clock. I usually get up about 5:30. I remember, you know, waking up about 4 and the power was on, so I'd run in and start my coffee going, and then come back to bed.
We'd do everything we could, get his breakfast made, get lunch made for him.
Yeah. So it was a challenge. So, you know, looking at that, if somebody, you know, worst case scenario, if something were to happen to the entire power grid for the United States, if somebody were to hack into it and cause issues or anything like that, it could just be a small dose. You know, what we experienced for a week with that storm could be just a small dose of what we can actually experience. So that's pretty much why
we're not
here.
doomsdayers, because that's, in today's world, that is not too far-fetched anymore.
No.
That somebody could get in and just take the United States down.
13 months ago, if somebody had told you that we would have gone through what we've gone, and I mean, we have been very blessed, very fortunate. It has not affected us near as much as it has other people, but just not, when I say what we've gone through, I don't mean us, I mean the country has gone through in the last 12 months. You know, 13 months ago, somebody has said, you and your country and your citizens are going to go through.
They'll basically
this.
shut down.
Yeah, this is what's going to happen. Nobody would have believed that or thought it was possible. You know, I mean, back when COVID started, and I mean, I remember many people like, what are they going to do? They're just going to shut down the whole world, shut down the whole country? It's like, well, now they did pretty much. So, you know, it's.
She just got done laying, I think.
We got chicken over here heckling us. So, but, you know, so anyway, I mean, what else do you want to add to it? That's kind of where, so we have just, you know, I definitely say when this whole thing started a year ago, we were not prepared.
No, we thought we were. We had a couple rolls of toilet paper. Our meat in the freezer was stocked, and we had chickens that laid eggs. And honestly, honest to goodness, we did not think, we thought a couple months and we would be back to normal. Yeah. But I remember grocery shopping in the early stages, and you go to the grocery store and there'd be lines out the door, and he would have me call him when I got there, call in the middle, and call when I leave, because people were crazy. I mean, they were, and I remember saying to him, I understand that we're all in this together, but yet we were all working against each other. It was very disheartening, because it was cutthroat. Yeah. Nobody was gonna, you know, leave food for somebody else's family when they're trying to provide for themselves. It was crazy. Yeah. And we decided at that moment we are going to work on providing for our family. My parents live in town. His mom lives close by, and us and our 3 kids, and we're going to do what we can to sustain our family if we needed to.
So ultimately, our goal would be probably to be able to not leave this house for 2 or 3 months and be okay. Mm-hmm. We wouldn't be, you know, it wouldn't be the best days of our lives, but it would be, we could live through it. So starting out, like I said, we're going to take you around, show you everything, and then at the end, we're going to kind of tell you what our plans are going forward, some bigger plans, and then we definitely want your feedback. But first, so as you've heard, the rooster right there crowing, the other hidden chicken over there, our pig is behind our shed over here.
Literally snoring.
Yes, he's over snoring right now. So those things, the garden is right behind us. We've already got onions and potatoes in the ground. I don't know how well you can see it on the camera. But so those things, we've done those things for a long time, having chickens, having the garden, but we've definitely added the pig to the mix. We took our first pig. I'll leave a link to that video. We took her to have her processed back in the fall.
Best decision ever.
Yeah, great meat, great quality. it was a tough thing to do, but we did it. This pig will be going in the end of the summer. So so we've definitely ramped that up. We're gonna really lean hard into the garden this year, and Shannon's wanting to do some canning. So we're gonna end up getting some more chickens and to add to that. And then once that this pig goes to the processor, we will get another one and start
immediately.
Probably right away and start again. So let's take y'all around the homestead and show y'all what we got, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, this is our garden shed. Basically what I have down here I want to show y'all is we started stockpiling gas. So I've got 5, 10, 15, about 20-ish gallons of gas. Skylar thinks we're looking for a mouse in here. And then this is the only generator we have at this time. So this little Yamaha generator, we used it when we had the snowstorm. It wasn't a necessity, but we did use it to so we could power up some lights in the house and a few things like that. This will not run our entire house, but it will, you know, for right now, like in the summertime, if we were to lose power, we could at least run our deep freeze off of it, you know, things like that, necessities if we had to. We have plans for another generator. We will talk about that at the end. So guys, we're not going to take y'all around. Y'all seen our garden, our chickens, all that stuff. We're not really going to focus much on that in this video. If you want to see all that stuff, you can go back, and we've got tons of videos on that. We're going to focus more on the prepping and side of everything. So over here, so our house is electric and propane. So our stove, furnace runs off of propane, but it takes electricity to run it. So, you know, we can light our burners on the stove, but we can't, which we did without power, but we can't light the actual oven, and the furnace won't run. But this right here is our, what's that, 250 gallon propane tank? So from this point forward, this is gonna stay full. So guys, if you watch our channel long, you know we own a taxidermy business. So this is our taxidermy, what is this? Our junk shed?
Overflow shed.
Yeah, for our taxidermy business. If y'all don't know, like I said, you can go back and watch. I have a lot of taxidermy related videos, but I have a full-time job, and then we have a full-time taxidermy business that's a seasonal business. So all those propane tanks back there behind me we use them with these burners right here and to boil deer heads. But the good thing is we keep all those propane bottles filled. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, and then we've got our barbecue grill, and our Blackstone has one on there as well. So we've got 14, 13 to 15 bottles that are filled all the time. So when we were losing power, I've got a heater in a couple of heaters in my shop I'll show you that we were able to run with these bottles. So our plan is to keep those full so that we can use those when they're needed. So we camp a lot, hunt a lot, so I have a lot of things related to that. So I just want to show y'all some of the basics of what we have. I've got this is an old school pump up Coleman stove, Coleman lantern, another old school pump up Coleman lantern that runs off of fuel, not the propane balls, but actual fuel, like this right here. I was gonna stock up on this last night at Walmart, but they were out of it. This is one of the heaters that we use. It's a, what are they called?
Little Buddy.
Yeah, it's a Little Buddy or My
Mr.
Buddy? Mr. Buddy, I don't know. But anyway.
Portable Buddy heater,
Yeah.
Mr. Heater.
Yeah.
Oh, Little Buddy is off of Elf.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not Little Buddy.
Yeah. So this is one we bought for hunting and stuff like that. But this will keep a pretty good sized room
We
warm.
warmed our bedroom.
Yeah,
with it.
So, and I've got another shop heater over here on the floor. I've got a video on our channel about that me and Rita made about it. It's not really it's a shop heater. It's not an inside the house heater. We did bring it inside and try it, and it sits really low to the ground, and the carpet got pretty warm. So we axed that. And then also I've done a little bit of backpack type hunting over the years. So I've got a jet boil. If you don't know what that is, look it up. They're really cool. I would recommend everybody has one. You can make instant coffee. You can boil. We have a video that we just put out. Me and the boys went and did some primitive camping, off-grid camping, and we were using it to heat up water to make all kinds of stuff.
Macaroni and cheese. Remember how we told you Easton would not survive off anything?
Yeah, mashed potatoes and macaroni and cheese. So it will boil water. I mean, it's crazy how fast you can boil water with it. So I also have a a thing to purify water. It's called a SteriPen, and it runs off of batteries. Also, if you don't have one of those, I wanted to get them out to show y'all, but they're buried in my closet, and I didn't want to go through my whole closet. So, but if you don't know what that is, look it up. It actually uses ultraviolet light to kill bacteria in the water. So you can fill up a container of water, and you basically turn this device on, and you stir the water with it, and it will kill all the bacteria in there. So worst case scenario, if we had to go down to the creek down here and get water, we could use that to at least
sustain.
Yeah, sustain. I went on a hunting trip for a weekend, and I drank water out of a creek for the entire weekend with it, and had no issues at all.
A stagnant creek, wasn't it?
Well, I have tried it out of a stagnant creek. This wasn't. It was more running water, but it will work. It will kill anything. So, and it runs off of it runs off a normal battery. So, I mean, we got a lot of other things kind of like that related to backpack type camping. So, you know,
that would be another thing we need to stock up on, batteries. Yeah,
I bought some batteries the other day, and we do need to get some more for our flashlights. That's one thing when the power was going on off, we were going around with headlamps. I mean, I was making my breakfast in the morning before work with the headlamp on and stuff. So yeah, we have a bunch of AA batteries. We need to get some AAA batteries. I've got a few. I bought some the other day, but we need more. This right here, I've never in my life used one. I drank coffee pretty much my whole adult life. I never used one until after we had the snowstorm. I went and bought this, and then I used it for the first time on that stove right there when me and the boys went camping. And the coffee out of it is fantastic. This is a coffee percolator, if you don't know. But yeah, that right there is really cool. So if you're just wanting to try a different way of making coffee, I highly suggest getting one of those. So guys, here's our deep freeze. So we have 2 deer in here from this season, what's left of 2 deer. We have our meat chickens down there. We're about to make a video on those, another video on kind of our thoughts on it. Shannon was able to get these 2 turkeys for free from the local grocery store. So and then over here we've got this is all the sand bass we caught, video on our channel about that. And then there's some brisket and other things like that. We're running low on this ground pork.
I'm really sad about that.
Yeah, but we got enough. We're growing some more right now. So, with the deer we shoot, our pig, you know, we're gonna have to probably not buy any more food and start eating this down, because we will not have room for that other pig when it comes time. So,
he's going to be bigger than she was.
Probably, yeah, yeah. So, you know, we kind of. Like I said, you know, unless there's something particular we want, we're not gonna buy anything else, because we won't have room for it. We have tons of deer meat left over, tons of steaks,
neck bones. Yeah. I don't know what to do with those.
Yeah. Here's the part where we talk about what our plans are. So you go first. I got a list on my phone.
I don't have a list.
She never makes a list. I try to tell her to make a list. I live and die by lists. Everything. I make lists about my lists.
You do make a list about your list. Make a list about this list. You go off your list, and then just operate the way we normally do, where you talk about it and I just interrupt you. That's
great. So one thing I've contemplated doing, y'all tell me if this is a good idea. I know the amount of fuel we have would not last us very long. I've contemplated buying a fuel tank and either putting it in the back of my truck or putting it somewhere on the back side of our property where we could have fuel. Another thing, we don't have a fireplace, but another thing that we need to do, like for our smoker and just in general, one thing that was a commodity during the snowstorm was firewood. Like people, like on all the Facebook marketplace groups, all that stuff, people were needing and wanting firewood. So worst case, if you had a couple ricks of firewood or cords or whatever, you could maybe use that as a bargaining, negotiating tool, or just give it to somebody if they needed it, whatever.
There was a lot of that. Yeah. There was a lot of people saying, hey, I've got a tree in my backyard, or I've got trees in my pasture, y'all just come out and do what you need to do.
Yeah. So speaking of the fuel earlier, a generator. So we watch Hometown Acres. We watched him before he got a big shout out from Arms Family and really liked his channel. Our son Reed actually started watching him first, but he has a really cool video out on running his house off of a generator and putting in a transfer switch with the plugs that you can park the generator outside the house. Basically plug the generator into the house. You go in, you turn off the breakers for the house, and you power the house with that generator. So I'm not gonna get a full like household generator, but I want to get one. That one we have out there is 2,000 watts. I think they have one at Harbor Freight that's 9,000 watts, which would be plenty to run a couple rooms of our house. And so that's probably something we're gonna look into.
Yeah. This is making me laugh.
So I want to do the water that we have in there. Those bottled water that's pathetic. That's not enough water. So I want to do. I mean, 10 cases of water. If we were here for a couple months,
how you said you're like, it's pathetic.
We're pathetic. So
pathetic.
I want to do a water catchment system.
We wanted to do that for years.
I want to do it for a long time. So the back side of our house is one solid eave across the back of our house. So I could run a gutter completely across the back of our house and then route that into some kind of storage tank for water. That's on our radar. Canning.
I want a can.
That's your input.
Well, I mean, I didn't have a list. He asked me before the video, what do you want to talk about? And I was like, I don't know, let me think about it, because I don't have anything together. I do want to start canning. I canned a little bit. The reservation I have is our house is not insulated very well, so the summertime can get really warm in the house, and then you add canning to it and it makes it almost unbearable. So I went to my mom's last year and I used outside. I canned outside.
Yeah, that's what last year you used the burners for the taxidermy and that,
and it worked fine. So I've got to just become resourceful and think of ways to get around having to do it inside. But I do want to can as much as possible. We did last year. We did jellies. I canned our pickles, and that's it.
She's been canning pickles for several years now. So.
Some people can like taco meat.
Like stew meat.
Yes, and I'm probably gonna have to just be okay with that and do that.
My aunt gave us at Thanksgiving some canned stew that has potatoes and carrots, all the vegetables and meat in there. I still haven't opened it yet, but I'm trying.
And there's something weird to me about that, but I guess I'm gonna have to get over it. Figure it out and do things like that. I want to be as resourceful as possible with the garden and not be wasteful. So dehydrating onions. Like we said in the beginning of the video, we have no idea what we're doing. We are very much beginners, as we have said. Don't really know what we're doing. We just know that we're prepared. We want to be as prepared as possible for ours. So we've showed y'all what we are thinking, what we're going to do, and we encourage you guys to give us feedback. What you would do differently, or oh no, you can't do that, or hey, have you thought about doing this? We are actually asking for opinions. We want that because we want to be as prepared as possible, and we honestly don't know what that looks like. We know the bare minimum, but you guys may come up with something that we were not thinking of that would help us in that situation.
Yes, I was watching another Homestead. I can't think of the name of their channel, but they have several thousand subscribers, and they're big into prepping. I was watching some of their videos. I've been watching a lot of prepping videos lately, and I mean, some of the stuff we're not. You know, there's people out there that I think can live for years. Probably it could live indefinitely. They're so self-sustained, and the amount of stuff they have stored up, and just the amount how self-sufficient they are. So, you know, maybe someday that's for us, but right now we're baby steps. So this is definitely a beginner stage for us. So we're just wanting to look at maybe month, 2-3 months at the most of what we could get by if we had to. So any suggestions? Don't hurt. You won't hurt our feelings.
I mean, you might hurt our feelings a little bit if you were mean about it.
Don't be mean. So show those feelings will be hurt.
I'll get my feelings hurt.
So, but what else?
I mean, I feel like that's about it. I mean, that's in a nutshell, and we probably will do, as we add more, take away more, find out things, experiment with stuff, we'll do videos on it.
We'll do some update videos and come back around.
But I think the good thing for us is getting ahead of the game, preparing, because like he said at the beginning of the coronavirus last year, we were not prepared. I think I bet most of the country could say the same, because none of us, we were naive and like, this isn't gonna last very long.
Yeah.
And here we are 13 months later.
Yeah. Guys, thank y'all very much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please go check out our social media, Instagram, Facebook. We keep up with that. Shannon posts on there daily, sometimes multiple times a day. And then if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. We have lots of the variety of different videos on here, but if you like what you see, stick around and we'll keep bringing you videos.
If you don't like what you see, just stick around, because I bet we find something that fits your fancy.
There you go. Thank y'all for watching.
Bye.